Now that I'm done in clinic for the day, I'm gonna close down my op. So I've already prepared all the supplies that I need. I have dry bottles for when I empty out my water lines. I have about 1/5 of a gallon of water for when I do maintenance on my mannequin. And I have the NutriVac with the dispenser ready to go. Because I'm only doing one room, I've pre-filled water to the single room line. I use deionized water in both of these just because the flow of that water is a little bit easier to manage while I'm closing the room. So the first thing I'll do is empty my water lines. I have empty bottles. I'm going to turn off my unit. And remove my full water bottle and place a dry water bottle on. Sometimes, there we go. I'll then turn my unit back on. And I'm going to express the water into my HVE until it's empty. Notice I'm not touching the tip of my air water syringe to my HVE. Once the water line is empty, I turn off my HVE, turn off my unit, take off the dry bottle, and replace my filled wet bottle. At this point, I'll leave the water unit or the operatory unit off. For the front water lines, I will turn off my unit, take off my water bottle, and I'm going to place this one on a counter that has a little more stability than this wobbly tray. I'll place my dry water bottle on, turn my unit back on. And for units that have an HVE on the front, you can use that HVE, or you can use the HVE on the back of the cart. Again, I'm going to express the water until it's empty. Then I have to remember to clean out my high-speed water line as well. On the rheostat, you'll make sure the water switch is on. And then you'll press on the rheostat until water is no longer coming out of the hand tube. So now my water lines on the front and the back of the unit are empty. I'll turn off the unit and place my wet bottle back on. Notice when I was putting the front unit water bottle back on, I didn't handle the straw. The next thing I'll do is maintenance on the mannequin. I'm going to just take a quick look at his face and make sure there's no cuts or tears, especially here around the mouth opening. If there are, I'll notify the instructor. I'm going to remove my Typodont. there's debris, I can brush his teeth as needed. If there's not any debris present on his teeth, then I'm gonna place him in a basket. These look pretty good, so I'll place him here in this basket. Now I'm gonna flush out the mannequin's head. I'll turn on the valve for the face suction. Right there. We just turn this little knob here. I'm gonna give him a gurgling drink. So we should never hear the flow of suction stop. And I'm just kind of pouring it throughout the mouth, making sure to flush everything with it. I'm going to tilt his head up slightly to the side, to the side. And then once we have water in and everything's flushed out, we'll put our hand over his mouth and we should see his cheeks suck in. That tells us that his suction valve is properly working. I'll leave the suction valve on as I slowly set the mannequin up. And if I see water pooling, I'll lean him back and then back up again. Then I'll turn the valve off. Close the jaw and open his cheeks. The next thing I'm going to do is care for the evacuation lines. So one line on the picture is worth one line or one room. One line is also one pump of our NutriVac solution. I like to place the water in first so it doesn't get too sudsy. To use this chemical, we'll lift up and then press down, and if nothing comes out, it's calibrating the liquid. We lift up and down until one pump of solution comes out. So that's one pump. The way the lid is designed is each of these attachment places has a different length hose in the bottom. So you want to make sure that if you're only doing one room, you use operatory 3. If you're doing 2 rooms, you start with operatory 2 and then move to operatory 3. And if you're doing 3 rooms, you start with operatory 1, then move to 2 and 3. Since we're only doing 1 room, we're going to start with operatory 3. We attach the hoses to the prongs on the container, and then we turn them on. And it's mixing our solution and the water at the same time, running it through our evacuation line. While the NutriVac is running, I can clean up and tidy up my room, making sure my mannequin is upright, my operator's stool or my assistant's stool are at the front of the room, and that everything else in the room is nice and tidy. For units that have a suction at the front, you can reserve a small amount of the evacuation line cleaner for your front HVE. And when it's getting almost completed, you can take the other 2 sections off and place the single HVE on. So when I remove them, I'm going to pull up, keeping the suction on, and then turn it off. Then I'll remove my second HPE, turning it off, and my third, turning it off after it's been removed from the container. You can see there's only a small amount of solution left, and we're gonna run our third HPE through that. When your container's empty, you can replace your suction. And if there is any remaining fluid in the bottom of your NutriVac, there might be a small amount, you can discard that in the sink. So at the end of the day, everything should be tidy in the operatory. You can move your tray to the back. Light is above the mannequin. Both the front and the back units are shut off, and we've taken appropriate care to maintain our equipment for longevity of our sim clinic. Thank you.